Mr. Crossley, you may proceed.
Sorry. Thank you. I'll start over. Good morning, Chairman Barletta, Ranking Member Johnson, and members of the subcommittee. My name is Nick Crossley, and I'm the Director of the Hamilton County, Ohio Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. I appear before you today in my dual roles as First Vice President of the International Association of Emergency Managers and as a member of the National Association of Counties. I'm here today as a representative of not just these organizations, but the entire profession of emergency management practitioners, the profession dedicated to protecting America's local communities from all hazards and threats, natural and man-made. Chairman Barletta, in your home county of Luzerne, Pennsylvania, Emergency Management Director Lucille Morgan spends most of her waking hours preparing for floods along the Susquehanna River, a recurring problem she has helped to manage multiple times during her 24-year career with the county's emergency management agency. Congressman Johnson, in DeKalb County, Georgia, Emergency Management Director Sue Loeffler is tasked with preparing for disasters in close proximity to the busiest airport in the world and the headquarters of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Sue works daily not just to help ensure the safe transport of various biohazards, including the Ebola virus, to and from CDC headquarters, but also to prepare the community's response to accidental introduction of these lethal biohazards in the community. Across America, local emergency management agencies are at the center of our nation's preparation, response, and recovery, and strive to create a culture of preparedness that builds and sustains a disaster-resistant and resilient homeland. We are grateful to be part of today's conversation because the mission we pursue daily is closely aligned with the goals of the National Preparedness System. In fact, over the last decade, the National Preparedness System, and specifically its Emergency Management Performance Grant, or EMPG, have become pivotal pillars of support for efficient and effective local emergency management. Through EMPG, the federal government supports ongoing local efforts to develop, evaluate, implement, and administer emergency operations plans, trainings, and exercises in a manner that best suits the needs of each community and is conducive to interagency collaboration. Since federal EMPG funds are always met with a 50-50 match from state and local recipients, the program is truly a partnership between local, state, and federal governments. By fostering this partnership, EMPG not only helps us protect our own communities, it enables emergency management agencies to support and assist each other when disasters strain our individual capacities. EMPG also helps states coordinate this support and assistance among counties both within and across state lines, ultimately creating a nationwide emergency management support structure that helps to save lives and lessen the impact of disasters. Over the last decade, this structure of support and assistance has strengthened our nation's response to disaster in a measurable and documented manner. To cite one example, after Superstorm Sandy struck in 2012, Ramsey County, Minnesota sent an emergency management practitioners trained under EMPG to the state of New York to reinforce the efforts of overwhelmed emergency management agencies. Without EMPG, this sort of interstate coordination and assistance simply would not have happened, and the short and long-term impact of the storm on New York and on our country would have been far greater. This is EMPG in action, increasing our nation's resiliency to disaster by fostering a structure of emergency management coordination, support, and assistance that crosses local and state lines. A weakened EMPG program would not only result in greater damage to life, property, and infrastructure when disaster strikes, it would also substantially increase the need for post-disaster aid from the federal government. Because of this, cuts to EMPG are short-sighted from a budgetary standpoint and counterproductive to the goals of the National Preparedness System. In conclusion, the Emergency Management Performance Grant advances the goals of the National Preparedness System by fostering partnerships between emergency management practitioners at all levels of government and in all corners of the country. When disasters strike our communities, these partnerships help to save lives, mitigate damage to property and infrastructure, and accelerate recovery. Thank you, Chairman Barletta and members of the subcommittee, for this opportunity to testify, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you for your testimony.